What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 76 of my Total Warhammer 3 Zhatan the Black Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have declared war on the Golden Order, mostly as a preemptive measure, as it was doubtless that they would have attacked us themselves eventually, and then destroyed one of their armies and taken several of their territories. Not that we super care about them, mind you, but and just because they were in range, and they're currently occupying Zharr, and we can't end the campaign with them being allowed to hold Zharr. Other than that, we left off the episode with Settra the Imperishable sallying out of Khemri with all of his elites, and I mean a lot of elites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of the Ushabti with Great Bow alone, or 5 units of Ushabti with Great Bow. No, 6 units of Ushabti with Great Bow alone, including the Chosen of the Gods. Tons of catapults. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of catapults, tons of Tomb Guard, lots and lots of that, and we just have our poor little gobos. Let's see, they cost 27 upkeep. Let's see if we can manage to pull this off. It does say close to defeat, but we do have a Yobaz who likes killing Sphinxes, so at least he should be able to enjoy killing off Settra if he can, and maybe this Higher Titan. Go. Exactly. Alrighty, here we go. The legions of Settra have marched from Khemri to meet us in the field, and the disparity between our troops is pretty hilarious. The enemy has basically about an elite stack as you're liable to get from an AI. Tomb King's stack, they basically have a full stack of nothing but Tomb Guard between their 3 armies, like 17 or 18 units. They have a half a stack of nothing but Ushabti between the Great Bows and the regular ones, tons of artillery, a few monsters, i.e. the Higher Titan and the Tomb Scorpion, Settra himself at level 46, mind you, and higher level than our own Lord, and there's some Sepulchral Stalkers and Necropolis Knights in there, as well as a bunch of Chaff Infantry to add to the fray, and not even the most basic type of Chaff Infantry, but the Nehekara Warriors as well, and all that arty. It's gonna be interesting. What do we have to combat all that? Well, we have a bunch of tier 1 goblins and nothing else. Hobgoblins versus Settra's legions. Let's see if Gordas can force a victory here. So, unfortunately, what did not quite work for us is I was hoping that, generally speaking, the AI likes to deploy its army close to where its reinforcements would arrive in order to wait for those reinforcements and actually make use of them. So I figured, well, we'll deploy right here, which is as close to the enemy reinforcements as we can get, because the enemy army is going to deploy here. No. Instead, they decided to deploy close to our side, and on top of that, protect all of their units, or at least a decent amount of units, with these trees from our range fire, which is quite interesting. Almost a smart move by the AI. So we've got to race against the clock here and take out as many of these units as we can before their reinforcements get here. Though on the bright side, our own reinforcements are close by, so hopefully we'll be able to envelop and destroy Settra's army before dealing with the second force. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off by having our wolf boys, our wolf raiders, start attacking the enemy skeleton horse archers. Bit of a skirmish cavalry exchange, but appropriate, I would think. We're also going to be casting spells in the middle of that blob of enemies if they're going to be nice and obliging and stand together for us in a pile of units in those trees. Well, we're going to burn those trees down. I'm going to summon those Kadai Fireborn on top of the single artillery piece that is in this particular army to hopefully destroy it, and thus not threaten the rest of our gobos while they close the distance, and also because we don't really care about the fire damage to our own Kadai units. Our lords have also landed, going after Settra here. Gord is specifically trying to go after Settra, and then the overseers are more or less trying to keep Settra away from the, or keep the other units away from Settra, so that these two can duke it out. Actually, an interesting little matchup. Technically, Settra, well, Chariot matchup not so great against a Cavalry Lord. Cavalry should defeat Chariot, generally speaking, but this is Settra, and he is nonetheless pretty tough. Once Gordas' buffs run out, we'll see if he can manage to win the duel. Otherwise, the battle is going reasonably well. We've got the rest of our units moving in. Unfortunately, our overseers did get trapped, and we're trying to get them the heck out of there via our piercing bolts of burning and our flame and shadow spell, shadow and flame, whatever it's called, the thing that is bound to all of our units, flame and shadow. Yeah, because the overseers are always surprisingly fragile. Like, I'm always shocked at how quickly they take damage. Their stats seem to indicate that they should be a little bit stronger than they seem to be. But oh well. Looks like they should be able to get out and maybe even take out the Ushabti with Great Bow. And in the meantime, our Gobos are going to hopefully overwhelm the Tomb Guard. The Tomb Guard should, in theory, be much better in melee, but they are outnumbered pretty heftily. And on top of that, we have them getting shot in the back by our Wolf Raiders, who I believe have destroyed one of the units of Ushabti with Great Bow, or at least forced them into melee, and thus it's looking okay. In the meantime, Settra is in pretty bad shape now. Gordas is also taking damage, however, having dropped to nearly half HP, though that's despite his pretty insane stats, or at the very least when he pops his defenses. When he has those crooked dice up and running, he has 68, one short of nice ward save, and that will at least keep him alive. But you know, considering all of the arrows also smashing into Settra here, I think that Settra does do a pretty good showing of himself, all things considered. I mean, he's taken so many hits. How much damage does the guy have? I mean, oh, he has 40% fire resistance. Oh, that's interesting, considering that Tomb Kings generally are vulnerable to fire, or at least the skeleton units are vulnerable to fire. That Settra has such a massive amount of fire resistance. Pretty good for him, on top of 32% physical, and 30% missile. Yeah, so these guys are basically doing no damage to him, are they? The Wolf Raiders, I mean. They do fire, physical, missile damage, and he has resistances to all three, so he's basically maxed out in terms of his resistances against them, and frankly, this is probably a waste of ammunition, and we're probably better off just having Gordas one-on-one him, and ooh, that poor Wolf Raider tried to run by, only to get run down by Settra's Chariot, but Settra's now down to 975 HP. Does Gordas do fire damage? No, he does poison damage. Okay, it's good that he doesn't do fire, or else it would be even more problematic. Settra is weak binding, diminished, but not quite broken yet, and his reinforcements have arrived. We gotta finish him off quick and not in a good way, so that we can deal with all of this. This is the major portion of the enemy army. So many Ushabti moving in, that Tomb Scorpion, that Hyro Titan, lots of stuff that's going to be a problem. Though it does look like we should manage to take Settra out. And lots of Gobos lying... wow, okay, you guys just shot Gordas a lot, but you know what? Hobgoblins are kind of betray-y, so traitorous, I guess is the word I was looking for. They could give us the Skaven a run for their money, and by their natures. And maybe the Dark Elves. So it might not be surprising that Gordas takes a few hits from his friends there, but there we go, Settra finally brought down, and yes, I could have made that much quicker by moving the two Overseers in to attack Settra together with Gordas, but I didn't want to do that. I thought that this was the duel that Gordas has been waiting for, especially since this particular army did have trouble against Settra in one battle before earlier in the campaign, so Gordas is still remembering that the last time he fought Settra, and he's a little bit pissed off about it. Anyway, let's see if we can hold off these enemies. Looks like they're going to move the skeleton chariots in first, and while normally against heavier infantry this would be a terrible idea, and because obviously they are charging in without much support, against the relatively weak Hobgoblins this is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. We are also trying to move our various Wolf Raiders into position. We do have a lot of them on the field. I think 6 on one side of the map and 6 on the other, or at least that's the idea. They're still trying to get into position, and a few are being chased around by Necropolis Knights, but at the end of the day, that is still a lot of them that we can get into position. We've summoned another unit of Khadai Fireborn on another enemy Screaming Skull Catapult with the hopes of hopefully, with the hopes of knocking this one out and distracting the enemy while our Wolf Raiders once again continue to do damage, both to the chariots and to the enemy artillery pieces as well. It's going to be up to our cav to destroy those before they do too much damage to our precious hobgobbos. I guess our entire army is basically hobgobbos, so they're all precious. Anyway, here comes that Hyro Titan, still one of the top 3 coolest looking units in the game in my opinion, and we are going to start on those. Ooh, I like that, moving in between those two flame storms. It's a pretty cool shot. Ah, damn you trees, why are you blocking the shot? Summon dual flame storms from our 2 fire mages or fire sorcerers into the middle of the enemy host. They're not going to do too well, unfortunately. Both of them seem to have moved away in the not the best direction, but what can you do? You can't rely on vortexes in that manner too well. We got more enemy monstrous cavalry moving in, or monstrous infantry. No, the sepulchral stalkers count as monstrous infantry, I guess. And they're obviously going to destroy our poor units of hobgoblins here, but they are getting hit by a fair few amount of those arrows from those Wolf Riders, and unlike Settra and unlike a few of the other units, they don't have the fire resistance to back them up, so they will die over time. We're also getting into position. Our units of more Mange Rovers, but various units of Wolf Raiders have moved through 2 units of Screaming Skull Catapults here and destroying them, and are now going to loop around to try to hit both these Screaming Skull Catapults and these Ushabti with Great Bow. We've also kept our second reinforcing lines units as the main line here. All of these badly hurt Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits are from our reinforcing army, whereas our more elite Gordas's troops, Shanks and the Stabbin' Boys, British Hobbits, all the named ones basically, they're all on this side. They looped around hidden and are heading also for the Screaming Skull Catapults and the Ushabti with Great Bow in the hopes that we can destroy them all in combination with our various Wolf Raiders. Alright, this battle is most definitely taking some effort. Our souped-up Sneaky Gits, however, are going to be overrunning these poor Ushabti with Great Bow fairly quickly. Gonna have a little bit more trouble with the regular Ushabti, mind you, but I'm still inclined to think that the very much souped-up Sneaky Gits should be able to bring him down over time. And here come Wolf Raiders as well. And they will be overrunning the enemy positions, or at least the Ushabti with Great Bow positions, by and large to stop them all from firing upon our main line. The bounce of power has in fact at this point shifted in our favor, and is at about, I don't know, maybe 65%-ish, but the enemy bigger units have arrived. The Tomb Scorpion is here, being fought by one of our Overseers, and over on this side, the Hyro Titan is moving in as well. Gordas is also pretty badly damaged. I believe he killed or otherwise damaged an enemy lord in here, but has otherwise been fighting to try to kill off anything that he can. But of course, having taken out Settra was the main thing. Still lots and lots of units on the field here, doing our best to whittle them down. A Wrath of Zharr coming through the enemy lines of Tomb Guard, and doing decent amounts of damage, but we can always use more. Looks like the enemy Dreadnought, aka Tomb Scorpion, finally goes down, and the Hyro Titan is now in, using those laser eyes. I'm still jealous of the unit because I love the look of this thing. It's just fantastic. Too bad we don't have any Tomb King allies that we can borrow this unit from. But oh well, not a big deal. Stomping around through all of those Hobgobbos, but we do still have plenty of Hobgobbos on the field, and it looks like plenty enough actually to force the enemy army to shatter. That was enough damage. We can see our elite Hobgoblin units did successfully manage to take out all those Ushabti with Great Bow, and at that didn't get all that damage, or at least the Sneaky Gits didn't. Some damage on the various Wolf Raiders, but at the end of the day, the unit losses weren't all that heavy. And in a few seconds, it will only be the enemy Hyro Titan left on the field. Beautiful. Alrighty, damn. And the Hobgobbos win once more. Oh, you gotta love that Hydro Titan, though. Even as it crumbles away. Oh, I would have actually loved to see the death animation. Though, funnily enough, if we had waited for the death animation, we probably would have lost a few more units, as when these guys collapse, they're big enough to crush smaller units beneath them. So maybe it's better that the game didn't have us see that. Anyway, there we go. Most definitely a Pyrrhic victory, and we certainly had to work for it. Gortys is down to, I think, like 15% of his HP, or something very low of that nature. Both of our overseers are badly hurt. We completely, I believe, ran out of mana, and while we did still have plenty of ammunition, a lot of our front line of our second army did get hurt, but Gortys' army / Yobaz's army is still pretty okay to fight another day. Alrighty, well, that was a pretty glorious battle, I should say. About a third of our army, or nearly a third of our army, was destroyed, and a Pyrrhic victory, but a victory nonetheless. And it was Settra leading the sally out of Khemri, so about as elite an army as we're likely to face anymore against this faction of Tomb Kings, so I'm pretty happy with the result. Gortys did get very heavily damaged, mostly by Settra, mind you, but at least he got the duel for himself. Damn, decent amounts of damage on one of our sorcerers, not as decent on the other, and then we got roughly spread out damage on most of our second line of Gobbos here, though that was on purpose, as we wanted to preserve the more elite units of Yobaz's army. Really gotta get Gortys a little bit more HP somehow, though I'm not sure that we have any further abilities to do so. It's a little bit weird to be outnumbered when you're using a goblin army, because the goblin army should be the one outnumbering the enemy, but well, at least we managed to pull it off. Anyway, we are going to, I guess, raise the place once again for the raw materials, though if we occupy it, we'd be able to heal, because this is over an end turn. Damn. I mean, I guess this way we'd get a decent amount of labor, but really we need the raw materials much more than anything else. I'm a little bit worried that these guys will suffer attrition, but then again, they're not so hurt that the attrition will kill us, so I think we're still going to raise it. Raise it, reoccupy at tier 5. Regardless of the lack of healing. And Aranessa, what you doing? You want a military alliance now? Well, that's well, I would like you to get a little bit friendlier with Scarby, though, because he's our oldest ally, and frankly, we're going to be prioritizing him over you. I'm wondering if we could get you to betray the Arkhan's faction. That would be swell, because we're going to destroy them anyway. Where's trade agreement? Break trade agreement with followers of Nagash. Minus 30. Okay, so you're not willing to do that, eh? Quite the shame. Quite the shame indeed, but I don't see how we can escape it right now, so well, they're going to be dead soon anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter all that much either. Alright, do we bother with the military alliance then? I guess we'll do it for now. Let's just hope that these two don't attack each other. Do we take their money? Nah, we're not going to take their money. It's fine. It's fine, especially since they should be happier about this fact, and the Skavens should be happier about the fact that we're allied with them both as well. Alrighty, will anybody else attack us? Archaon wants us to join war against Reichland. You just deal with Reichland yourself, buddy. Unless they declare war on us, they're too far from us to care. Siggy, I'd love to trade with you, but Nagaron hates you, so we're not going to deal with you right now. And Be'lakor wants a full-on military alliance, but I fear that he's going to get into a conflict with the Dark Elves, so I'm not going to bother right now either. You want peace, Sisters of Twilight? I don't see why we would. You're too far to threaten us. And just keep doing your thing up there. Sin Dancer, man, everybody wants some kind of agreement today, but no. Mostly because I'm wary of Nagaron attacking you. And Nagaron is giving us so much money per turn, like 5,000 gold, I think it was. So, yeah. And, well, I guess at this point in the game it doesn't really matter, but nonetheless. What do we have here? Ragnipash encountered a guide. Spend a little bit of money? Sure. Hey, it's 500 money, who cares? Leadership... Attrition reduction for Yobaz, a Dawnstone, ambush foiled on Kigal. Ah, damn, that's unfortunate. He was going to hopefully get the Golden Order army nearby, but oh well. Let's see, ambusher discovered Kurthinia. You are okay as you are. Technology researched siege supplies, and convoy completed. Oh well, that's just swell. Next siege supplies... Yeah, it's probably the best pick here. And this place will have recovered... Oh, hopefully these guys can still destroy it with an auto-resolve. Yeah, it looks like they can. It's fine. Auto-resolve? Wait. Is it me, or did I not raise the place? Am I crazy, or did I raise Khemri? Guys? I raised Khemri, right? Huh? I'm not sure what's going on. Auto-resolve. Huh, well, I guess just occupied his tower now. Kind of bizarre. Occupies tower. Not sure what the heck happened there, and you just sit there, I guess. We'll prioritize the healing of Yobaz. We're also near to the Black Pyramid, although it is barely defended at all, so and that doesn't matter nearly as much. Would you have actually been able to take out the Springs of Eternal Life? You would. Oh, damn, I did that backwards. I should have had Yobaz go for the Springs, and then... Overseer Thunderskull do the other thing. Zhatan, you can take Kasabar probably with an auto-resolve? Yeah. And they're pretty weak. And the faction isn't dead, they do have a bunch of territory out here as well, and oh, look at that! There's some awakened territory there, well that's interesting. Nor was I expecting that, I gotta say. And what are you doing? Overseer True Eye Scav, it doesn't really matter, one of them kill you. This should actually complete a mission for us, an important mission, I should say. Let us get the... does not matter. Weapon strength mission completed with Wintertooth, and the reason I wanted... Order of Lore Masters destroyed. The reason I wanted to complete the mission of Wintertooth, assuming that there are no further missions for us at the current time... Ooh, we should also build the... we should also build up at Miragliano, I guess, to construct the outpost, I mean. All the outposts are... constructed already. I think this is the only campaign where I've constructed all the outposts, and ooh, well, if it isn't Gelty, and he's got a double Emperor's Wrath steam tanks as well. Well, isn't that swell for him? He's doomed, of course, because Draj is nearby. Do we actually have a... Oh, we're not close enough to a Mega Mortar. I don't know whether we're close enough to fire. We'll save this big battle for next episode. It's a double stack against a Draj, so I think we can have some fun there. Hello. Morgus Damon is moving to Migdal and Galbrack, and we're still hurt, so we wouldn't be able to auto-resolve this, most likely. Gonna have to probably manually fight this, but it's okay. I'm sure our Death Shriekers can take care of it. Just want to see what else is going on. Ulrich Wolf was the one that I wanted to have Kigal essentially... free kill, and it looks like Chant is gonna go after him. Interesting. What happened out here at Kappelberg? Oh, they backed off. I wonder if they knew. If they knew that Astrogoth being near to Kappelberg would mean that they would get attacked. Kind of interesting to see that. Fascinating. Well, I guess let's start moving, shall we? We will start with Zhatan. You will go first. I think this should be auto-resolvable because these guys can't stand against it. There's absolutely no way. What do they have in here? Well, they do have some stuff. But would you be willing to fight out? Nah, he's gonna run, isn't he? Yeah, he's gonna run. I figured, hey, what if we could draw them out into a field battle, but that's not gonna happen. Decisive, yeah, low casualties. Still, I shouldn't have even bothered attacking him outside of the settlement, but oh well. Hopefully he doesn't siege us, and in fact, just to make sure that he doesn't, we should, well, we're gonna raise in the first place, and... I wanted to go to a Healy place, and we can, in fact, move back to Bagar. A little bit of a waste of a turn in some ways, but I guess we can just have one of these guys take it over instead, so it's not like it'll matter. And then Zhatan, we have to make sure that you return for the endgame scenario to Carrick Zorn, because you'll be facing off against Thorek, but in the meantime, I guess there's a few things you could do. Start moving towards the Black Pyramid of Nagash, for example. And we still have Khemri out here. I do have to wonder what we want to actually do with all of these territories. Yeah, we could take them over, but they're coastal, and I'm not sure I like that very much. Just by the danger of coastal provinces, is obviously there's the elves to consider as well. We should also probably ply a bunch of more of our allies with more money so that they can keep building armies. Tech Thieves, Raider the Scourger. Are you able to auto-resolve Gorgazan now? Let's find out. Because we've been wanting to take that in Stormhenge. And can you do it at the cost of 2 Hobgoblin Sneaky Gets? I'll take it. Free War Banner, not that you will keep it. Don't bother raising it, just occupy this factory just so that you don't waste an end turn. I'd prefer that, and we'll take the War Banner away from you. Not to worry, we'll transfer that to somebody who can actually use it. I do that between the episodes, and we'll continue to do it between the episodes, because I feel like it's a better use of our time here. Anyway, Stormhenge will be the last territory here, and we'll probably also want to recruit while we're here. In fact, where is this? Gorgazan? And Agrul Migdal, eh? We can build a Sneaky Get, so do this. And I'd rather increase the construction here. So this place is the Barrier Idols. We're going to transfer, let's say, out of here to the Barrier Idols, if I can find them. I wish there was an easier way. Alright, there we go. Except, wait, did I do 200? No, 100, okay. Like so, and now rush to this, which will enable us to build more of these basic units. Just the 2, mind you, but better than nothing. And then we'll build even more out of this, like so, and like... Oh, it takes 1 turn to recruit the big boys as well. Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders as well. 20 out of 20, fantastic. We still have those Orc Laborers in here where we can get rid of them after, and that should be more than enough to take Stormhenge without actually diverting a proper stack to it, which is what we wanted in the first place. Then I guess we will try to see if Overseer Thunderscowl can take the Springs of Eternal Life despite being hurt. I'm just gonna hope that he can. And, it'll cost him like half his army. Granted, we could just do it. As in manually fight it. Real quick. We can definitely win it if we did. Is there anybody nearby? Oh, there's still Qatar. I guess we can send him to Qatar after. Alright, fine. We're just gonna manually fight this real quick. Fight. I'm gonna speed through this because obviously this is kind of a waste of our time, and frankly it should be auto-resolvable, despite the damage to our units. And we do have spells available after all. And I imagine that the enemy does not. Alrighty, and we will... we'll still advance with our hurt units, even if they are hurt. Like so, like so. And our archers, funnily enough, aren't really all that hurt. Do this. You, Sorcerer, are going to be the main source of damage. The main sorcerer of damage. You guys will actually also be dishing out damage, so you're going to be back here. We're going to turn off your skirmish mode. You are going to move in. Oh, we can actually just back off a little bit. Just enough, I should say. Wait until our abilities activate. Are the enemy actually going to move? Oh, they're not going to allow our abilities to activate. Alright, fine. Back off, everybody. Right up here. And speed it up. Yeah, they're moving forward. Let's use a fireball. I don't use these often. I just want to see how much damage. Yeah, not really worth our time. Alright, let's do that. There we go. Abilities are active. Slow it back down to regular speed. We'll pop up the Blood and Fireborn on top of this unit of skeleton archers. Like so. And then the biggest concentration of enemy units needs to be hit with the Wrath of Zharr. And we'll move everybody else forward afterwards. Ah, damn, we don't have the Dreadquake Mega Mortar. Alright, that's fine. These guys are actually moving away from each other. Alright, everybody else group, let's say 3. Start moving on in. We'll need to Doom of Hash at them before the main enemy stack arrives. Let's pop the Wrath of Zharr on you. Let's pop some spells right there. A Doom of Hashut right there. And just basically every spell that we can manage. Here, you should have a Doom or Flame and Shadow right here to be usable. And the rest of them will die in a few. Alright, we may be hurt, but not so hurt that the enemy will be able to deal with this, I think. You can actually land here, I think. And, ooh, just gotta make sure that we don't walk ourselves into the fiery vortex there. No, back up, guys. Why aren't the range units firing? Damn block... Okay, you guys back off. Alright, they didn't do exactly what I wanted them to. You back off so that you don't die. You go after the enemy lord. Everybody else back off from the vortex. The stupid archers decided that, no, we're not going to attack or do anything useful. You guys surround and kill the enemy lord. Archer units. Okay, that vortex needs to end. Okay, you guys get away from the vortex. Taking a while. And you can also buff yourselves and debuff the enemy lord here. There we go. Vortex has finally ended. Now we just have to take care. And this unit of Ushabti will tell all of our hobgoblin archers to do it. You are still fighting. Perfect. Probably can buff everybody up. Ooh, you're actually quite hurt. Let's back you away. And let the archers take care of those units. And, oh, damn, they used the Tomb Swarm, or is this a Curse of Jaff? I see that a few of our units did get hurt, but they're not dead, so we're fine. Fantastic. Only 48 units lost, and it looks like a few, well, obviously a few models killed there. Oh, auto-resolve. Once again, not letting us do our thing, and that was without, once again, the Dreadquake Mega Mortar. Alright, and we're going to just occupy the place, I think, rather than raise it, because I want you healing up, so occupy his factory. Alright, beautiful. And you have a raw materials output, eh? We could have actually made this place a bunch of outposts if we really, really wanted to, but there's probably no real need. And it's still too close to enemies, so we should still fortify the place. So, and regardless of that, we will, however, accept new labor here because we will build the marble quarry. So, and nothing else. Anyway, with that, once again, we're out of time. I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we will continue our advance, ever onward with the advance. But turn 109, which means I think either a turn 1. I think it was a turn 110 that that the endgame scenario will become nigh, so we will start preparing for it and start sending armies that way as well, and we'll hopefully take out the remaining forces of Khemri out here, and we'll start pushing towards those that live in Vulture Mountain. Though we got to give them props for apparently destroying the dwarfs here, the Greybeards Prospectors. Good job to them. I'm actually surprised that they did, or maybe it was the followers of Nagash that destroyed them there, and then they just followed up. We also have the big battle against Balthazar Gelt next time, so stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.